Welcome to We Love Deck Builders, the podcast dedicated to empowering deck industry pros to construct a thriving business. Join your host, April Edwards, founder of Deck Builder Marketers, as she brings you a cheat sheet of industry secrets and strategies that promise to boost your deck building business. Whether you're a battle-tested pro or just starting your entrepreneurial journey, this podcast is your arsenal for expert insights and actionable advice. So tune in and let's carve a path to business growth, one insight at a time.
So welcome back to the We Love Deck Builders podcast. This is the Deck Expo Series edition. I'm your host, April Edwards, owner and growth strategist at Deck Builder Marketers. We are the #1 growth partner for the industry's top deck builders. We don't just run campaigns, we own your success. We help you grow, dominate, and thrive. Today, we have a veteran guest, Chris Breen, co-founder of Legacy Decks Academy and owner of Legacy Decks and Outdoor Living. Chris has been a game changer in helping deck builders grow their businesses through strategic coaching and business systems. So he's here to give you guys, seriously, stay tuned. He always does a ton of stuff at Deck Expo and just brings so much value. So we're going to be talking about all of that. He's got a series of sessions at Deck Expo. He's going to share what's new with Legacy Decks Academy and let us know what special offerings we can expect at their booth. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, April. I appreciate it very much. Great intro there. And sorry, I just kind of jumped right in and started sharing.
Love it. Chris, you always have a lot of good things to say. You're an amazing guest to have on. I think people are going to be really excited to hear what you have. And we already have a question here. So we're just going to jump into it. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Cool. So Jesse said, Chris, why do you think deck builders should come to Deck Expo?
Yeah, so a couple things I kind of already shared on, but just to kind of recap, like amazing opportunity to network. You can leverage the power of everybody else. I love to say to people, like, none of us is as smart as all of us. And what I mean by that is like, man, if you can imagine being at a lunch, a dinner, a networking event with Nadra and have access to guys like Levi Tippett and Andy Henley and Mike Mitchell and John Lee and Jason Varney, like leverage the power of the community because there's so much value and such a willingness for people in the industry to share their wins, to share their losses. And for me, that means that I can avoid maybe some of the mistakes that other people have made. And so networking, #1, is huge. #2, the educational piece. Nadra does a ton of hard work to make sure that there's a lot of valuable stuff. So we've got the outdoor living stage. There's going to be some fantastic speakers on the outdoor living stage. That's going to be a little bit more of an informal stage on the show floor where you can come. You don't have to pre-register and you can take advantage of whatever they're speaking about. I don't have the list of everything that's on there. I know for me, Nick Stevens from my team is going to be teaching how to stop being ghosted by customers or prospects, I should say. I'm going to be talking about our hiring funnel. And so tons of good stuff. So that's the second piece, is education. The third one I would say would be new product offerings, right? Like the manufacturers are really intentional about making sure that they bring a ton of value and that they're innovating all the time. And so there's a ton of opportunity to just see what's new and up and coming that may not even have hit your market yet, but it's hitting somewhere else. So that would kind of be the third one. So networking, education, and just being top of your market for product knowledge. Because for me, I know for us, we earn more customers from just the sheer fact that we are able to educate people at a level that maybe our competition can't. And so those would kind of be my top 3, I guess. Great question.
Yeah, good stuff. Plan it all out too, man. There's so much to do. Definitely, I think if you're going to make the investment, you need to make sure that you're spending a few minutes beforehand to make sure you're getting everything in that you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The cost of the ticket is nothing compared to, like, the ROI is that much more if you leverage what's there, the networking, the education, the information on the show floor, and things like that, for sure.
And good segue. So you guys can use invite 1645, that promo code, to get a free pass. So kind of have no excuse but to go, right?
Pass is free. Exactly.
Well, hey, let's talk a little bit more about all this amazing branding that you have and what Legacy Academy is all about.
For sure. I don't have a very clear spelled out intro like you just did about your business. I feel a little bit unprepared for that. But at the core of the Academy, essentially, I have done a lot of stuff really well. But the things that I've learned the most from are the things that I've done wrong. And so I've built a 7-figure, multi-million-dollar deck business. I've got a fantastic team. And the Academy essentially is, I've distilled down all of the things that I did wrong and figured out the things that are working right. And I'm trying to just share them with the industry. We're collaborating with Nadra on education at a high level, but then we've also got some offerings that we offer inside of the Academy. And the goal really ultimately is 3 things. Number one, I want to help people to make as much money as possible, which is great. But ultimately, like, we can always make money. The second thing is I want people to get their time back. Right? Like, there's nothing I hate more than seeing these guys and gals out there just working themselves to death and not having the time to enjoy the freedom that they got into business for in the first place. So essentially, the Academy exists 3 reasons. Number one, to help you make more time. Number two, to make more money, get more time. And number 3 is to ultimately enjoy the freedom and the lifestyle that most of us got into business for in the first place. And so I do that through sharing what we've done inside of our own deck business. That's running really successfully. I find myself in a really weird place where I don't have to be the chief problem solver anymore. Deck business is not only running, but it's growing right now, bigger than I've ever built it, and without me kind of doing anything in it. So it's kind of a neat thing. So that's what the Academy is in a nutshell.
I want to throw a little pop quiz question out here. I'm really curious to know, what were some pivotal moments in Legacy Deck's growth?
Yeah, so pivotal moments for Legacy Deck's growth were, I would say the first thing was when we decided that we were going to get some outside perspective. And so it was probably a little over 5 years ago now that I hired a coach to kind of help identify some of the blind spots that I had. Somebody that could hold me accountable, somebody that could challenge my way of thinking. And I know that sounds, like I'm saying that just because I'm a coach now, but no, literally, if I look back at the growth of Legacy, it was when, I don't care whether you hire a coach, whether you look on YouTube, whether you get involved in what Nadra's doing for free, come to Deck Expo, like, having a third-party perspective was really probably the biggest thing. Not to just identify blind spots, but number 2 was to, like, hold me accountable to do the things that I said I would do, right? So at a high level, I would say that was one of the most pivotal things that comes up for me. Number 2, I would say, is hiring the right people for the team that not only we're looking for a job, but we're looking for ownership in their role. And so I say, like, if I'm an entrepreneur, my team is full of intrapreneurs. They're people that they are responsible for their role inside of the business, and they've literally taken the hat from me. Hey, hang on, April. I literally have, a few years back, I did a thing at the Nadra Awards, and I've got, literally have all the hats in here. So these are like all the hats. We've got designer, we've got project manager, we've got babysitter, we've got recruiter, we've got trainer. So, like, the pivotal thing for me was when I finally not only hired people, but I gave them ownership of their role and started taking hats off and letting them do their role. And so that was another pivotal place for me. Was I look back to when I hired Nick Stevens out of sales, Jonathan Bachman inside of project management. We just celebrated, I think Nick's been with us over 8 years now, has done over $11 million in deck sales. So he does all the sales. I don't have to do that. Jonathan handles running the production department. I don't have to do that. I think as owners, one of the things that I was not really good at was delegating. And so pivotal things were being able to delegate really well to people. And so, but all that comes down to, like, you got to have systems in place to delegate to people. You've got to have things documented. You got to have a clear plan on where you're going. You got to know your numbers at a high level. So, I mean, there's so many things, April. I really try to simplify it as much as possible with what I teach inside of the Academy. Again, pivotal, hiring a coach, hiring a great team, tracking our numbers, having a really clear plan, consistently having meetings in our organization that identify where we're going, where we said we were going to be going, where we're at, and where we're going. So some of that stuff is, I guess, some of the pivotal things.
I'll back you up though. So same for me. I mean, I've had a few pivotal moments. I think the first reality check was realizing that I didn't want my revenue to be dependent on my availability. That was a big thing when I had my second child. I was like, this isn't going to work. I can't work weekends and all these things. So that was a big change. And then the next was the same, and, like, really trying to know what my mission was. Yeah. Why am I doing this? Because I went to art school, I was never going to make a ton of money. And I ended up hiring a coach, which I've been through a few different coaching programs, but 7-figure agency is the one I've been through. And it was the same. So I'm saying it like, I back you 100%. And I know that Chris is a coach. And so it might sound very biased,
Yeah.
but I think it says a lot about your story too, and why you are passionate and why you are giving back in this way with Legacy Academy. So Legacy Decks Academy. So just 100% back you. And I'm a coach now too. So we have people that come to Deck Builder Marketers all the time that I refer to you guys, because it's so important that you get your infrastructure and like your mind in the right place before you can truly scale a business and reach those bigger goals. So I very much believe in everything that you guys do there. We've got a couple of things here. So TC Dex said it was a great time and I paid for all of it. So I don't know if that was like a typical Vegas story or where that came from, but I'll leave it to you guys. It must be an inside joke.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then Anita says, what sets Legacy Decks aside from other deck builders? That's good. Watch, he's going to answer it super quick. If you guys can't answer yours really quick, you need to learn to do that. No pressure.
Yeah, for us, what sets us aside is really we don't go into every appointment trying to sell people a deck. We really feel strongly that people should have a super solid plan before they execute on buying a deck. So for us, we really act as a consultant, an educator, a mentor to help people decide. We may not even end up being the right fit for people. So I think what sets us aside is that there's very low pressure. We're not the right deck company for everybody out there. We're super clear about that with people. And so I think what sets us aside is like, there's no amount of pressure. We're really just out there to help consult, to educate, and everything we do inside of our website, inside of our process is really points to that. And so at the end of the day, people buy from us, we don't sell to them. And so I think the thing that sets us aside apart from most of our competition is just that right there. It's like a very defined, clear path that we help people navigate through and act as a consultant. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for us.
And I think that there's a journey to get to that point in your business too. It takes a lot of confidence. We've been talking to a lot of builders about talking about pricing right away and how you pre-vet and qualify people and prime them to be a good client in the first place. And where does that start, right? Probably with your mission and why you guys are doing what you're doing, right?
If you want to go even deeper, April, like what sets us apart is like we are business people first, we're deck builders second. Going on just over 10 years now in business. And that's because we have a super solid plan. We know our numbers at a high level. We know what levers to pull to stay in business for a long time. And, so that's, I think, the biggest thing. In the early days of being in business, it's like, there's a lot of scarcity mindset. Like there's not enough work for us and there's not enough leads and we need to sell every person. Well, when I got to a place where like I realized there's an abundant amount of opportunity for us, it really changed the energy, the way that we come across to our customers, and people enjoy that process. But at the end of the day, like, business is hard. For me, I think people are attracted to who we are more than what we do. And so for us, we just really try to have a great culture, a great organization, a great reputation. Sometimes a reputation is really hard to get and sometimes it's expensive to keep. And so for us, we do the right thing, period. So I think that sets us apart from a lot of the competition out there.
Yeah, because you're the real deal.
Yeah.
So what's the most exciting thing that's been going on with Legacy Decks Academy this year?
I would say client wins. I think Grant Smith. He owns Simple Side Construction up in the Outer Banks, and we just interviewed him recently at our quarterly intensive. And he's just one example of the wins. You talked about revenue and how, like that's not a driving factor for you inside of your journey. The thing that we interviewed Grant on is like revenue is vanity, right? Like it's great. Like we could talk about all these multi-millions of dollars, but it's like, what are you keeping? So Grant has actually done less revenue the last couple of years after working with us, but has tripled his profit, probably quadrupled. So that was really exciting to go through. We just mapped out his whole journey and he went from, several $1 million down to a couple $1 million. But the thing that was scaling was his profit. And so for me, at the end of the day, like a big revenue business.
All right. Jesse said, I heard you're talking about recruitment at Deck Expo. Can you give us a little sneak peek at what you're going to teach about?
We're going to teach and train on our hiring funnel. And essentially it's a way that we've utilized probably for the last 7+ years to speed up the process of finding those A players. Essentially, I kind of challenge the way that most people do their hiring. I don't even look at a single resume until I have people through some level of filtering mechanism. And so for me, one of the filtering mechanisms that I use is every single person that applies for any posting for us. Let's say Indeed, for instance, somebody puts in their application or their resume with us. Every single person will get an immediate automation back from us through Indeed that says, hey, congratulations, you've been selected to move forward to the next phase of the Legacy Decks hiring process. We need you to do this. And the this might be, if I'm hiring a salesperson, it might be, hey, drop me a quick 2-minute video and just tell me what interests you about the role and what makes you feel like you might be a great fit for us. And so that filters out typically 80% of people right off the bat, because 80% of people are not going to follow the instructions and they're not going to submit the video. And so the last time I hired a sales consultant, which I've hired a couple this year, we've gotten anywhere from 70 to 80 applicants, and we typically only get about 12 to 15 videos. And so those are literally the only people that we're going to interview are the ones that we get the videos from. And so it saves a ton of freaking time because you are only talking to people that follow instructions. And if we're looking for 80 players, we want to only talk to people that follow instructions. That's part of what we're going to talk about, but I'm going to go through the entire hiring funnel process, what the tools are that we use inside of the hiring funnel, and some results that have produced. Essentially right now, I've got 15 people on my team in-house that are inside of sales, production, financials, marketing. They've all been hired through the hiring funnel. And then we also have all of our deck builders in the field. And so we've built a super solid team utilizing that process.
If anything, this is a really good time to come and attend these sessions and just work on your business without the distractions of, everyday issues. Just take some time out and come. Check out his sessions, and I guarantee you're going to leave with a lot of really good stuff. Chris has the Deck Business Blueprint on day 1. That's at 8 to 10 p.m. From 2:15 to 3:15, how to build a deck business you could sell for maximum value. At day 2, performance, the profit and performance blueprint. That's going to be at 8 until 10. Day 3, playbooks and people systematized for freedom and scale. That will be on Friday at 8 from 8 to 10. From 12 to 12:45 on Friday, that's the hiring funnel. And just like he said, it's a step-by-step system to attract, filter, and hire top talent. I guess that's it. Yeah, Friday's usually a shorter day. So Nick Stevens is the senior sales rep. I hope that I said that right, Nick. You can smack me when you see me if I said it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is the official title. He is going to be speaking on Wednesday from 1 o'clock to 1:45 at the outdoor living stage, which is booth 3454. So I believe that's in the expo itself, whereas a lot of these other speaking sessions are in a different area, kind of like conference rooms. So Nick's session is going to be Stop Getting Ghosted, How to Hit a 90% Close Ratio. What? Without chasing clients. Oh my God. Amazing. Okay, we see you.
Yeah. Sorry about
Yay!
that. Yeah, Nick's session is going to be great, guys. Nick has literally, like I said, sold over $11 million worth of deck projects. His average ticket is around $100,000 per project. He closes more people into our design process than anybody on the team. And that's really the key to that close ratio, is getting people engaged in your process, not trying to sell them a deck. And so he's going to teach on that. So he's got some really cool stuff planned for you guys. So anybody that can make it to that session, I highly recommend that.
And that really reinforces your differentiator, right? Like Nick's probably been super instrumental in getting that together.
Oh boy, Nick, I'm telling you what, Nick has gotten in the habit of, he will actually pull back from people before he's going to lean into them, right? Like he's going to, maybe you're not quite ready to do our design process yet. Like get more clear. He's literally come back from appointments and said that he could have sold a design and he didn't. And I was like, man, just get the design. Like we'll move him through the process. So he's got a very much an abundance mindset, and it served him well. So he's sold over $2 million this year and on his way to 3 million. And like I said, over 11 for his lifetime with us. So super excited about that.
Well, why don't we go through each session and you could just give a little juicy nugget on it of what people can expect?
Yeah, so, for sure.
I'll just let you take the floor because you've got this, man.
So essentially, we have partnered up with Nadra to continue putting out courses for the Master Deck Professional certification. So it's cool that we're doing these classes, but it's even cooler for me that we are adding credits to the Master Deck Professional certification. So I'll talk about the specific things, but I want everybody to kind of realize that, like, if you look at plumbers, electricians, all these things, like there's all these things that you can become certified in. Deck building is actually a thing. you can get certified in it through NADRA. And so I'm really excited about that. But this day one is really some of the foundational pieces of building a deck business. Like most guys just start and gals start by selling a bunch of projects, building the projects, like selling decks and collecting checks is what I like to say. And they forget about like, hey, what's the actual plan? What's the end in mind? And so I like to start with the end in mind. And so I'm going to get people super clear about, hey, 3 years from now, this is what success is going to look like. Because it's hard to go to a place that you don't know what that place is. Like if you were going to drive somewhere, you need to have a destination. And so I'm going to help people walk through a process, and we've got a workbook to work through it to get really clear about like what's the 3-year vision for their company. Then I'm going to show them how we build out a 1-year plan. So 2026 is right around the corner. It's a great time to do this. But then I'm also going to dial it back to like, okay, what's the 90-day thing that we need to execute on? That's the bite-sized piece to get to the 1 year, to get to the 3-year. And so I feel like this is one of the things that that we do really, really well. We're elite at planning. And the better you can become at planning, the better you can become as a leader, the better you can build a team, the better you will probably have the likelihood to achieve your results. And so day one is going to be that. We're going to get people super clear on like, where are we actually going? And that'll get you 2 credits towards your Master Deck Professional certification. You want me to roll right into day 2?
No, we got a couple of questions. Well, Bessie had some feedback. She said killer tip. So this is referring to when you were talking about the recruitment pipeline. Killer tip. So you're weeding out the people who aren't willing to do the work and follow your steps. Love it.
Yeah.
I've heard of some people like putting a hidden little like word or something in the application that
I just recently heard about that from my coach, where they put a thing in the job posting that says it's like listing all of the roles, and then it says, hey, the secret code is 324. It won't make sense now, but the secret code is 324. And then when they tell you at the end, like, hey, send me a quick little email with your qualifications or whatever, your resume, and make sure you put the secret code in the subject line. And then that's how they filter people out. I love that. It's so funny that you heard that too.
And then Jesse also said, man, how can everyone hire their own Nick? I guess we'll have to go to Chris's session to find out. Heck
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the second one is also on Wednesday from 2:15 to 3:15. Exit like a boss. Wait a second. Is this it? Yeah.
Well, this is another session. Yeah, this is another session for sure. So this one here, like back in 2020, I got involved with an organization that focuses on exiting, on driving your multiple. And honestly, like I didn't even know the vocabulary. I'm like, what is a multiple? Like multiplication, right? And so if you're sitting there thinking like, what's a multiple? You're in the right place, because I was the same way. But there's a certain vocabulary to scaling a business and exiting a business. And so there's one thing for sure. At some point, everyone's going to exit their business. They're going to go out of business because they run their business poorly. They're going to maybe sell their business and make some money, or they're going to pass away, right? Like everyone's going to exit someday. So I feel like there is a language and a vocabulary that as owners, we should be aware of, because whether or not you plan on exiting now or in the future, there's certain things you should do to prepare yourself for that, to make it an actual real business. And so I'm going to go through, this is going to be like maybe a 101 version, not a super high level, but just like the basic vocabulary. And the conversation will go wherever it needs to based on the people that come to the course. But I'm going to be an open book. I've exited 3 businesses successfully, a couple businesses unsuccessfully. And so I think you can learn just as much from the things I've done poorly to the things that I've done really well. And so I think there's a lot of value inside of that one as well. So
derail again, but I'm really interested to know, what are some of the goals that your legacy Dex Academy members typically have? So that's kind of open-ended, but I'm saying like, why are they doing this? Like what, so for me, I want to make enough revenue to be able to show my kids the world. And that takes time and money. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's it.
So I'll go back to the quick story that I told you about Grant. And again, he's just one of our members. And he shared from stage at our quarterly about like the success he's having and the profit and the this and the that. But my wife, who's my partner, in her wisdom, made sure that Grant didn't forget to talk about the why. Like why? Okay, that's great. Profit, revenue, all that, the team. And Grant shared exactly that. It's like he literally takes every Friday off every week right now because his team has got things on lockdown. They're going to Switzerland for 2 weeks this November. There was a time where he couldn't leave the business for 2 days, let alone 2 weeks. And so I think that's almost more important than talking about the revenue and the profit and all that. It's like why you actually got into business was to enjoy the lifestyle. And the reality is most people probably work way more hours in their business for way less money than they could if they just went and got a 40-hour-a-week job with somebody else. And so I think, that's a big win, I think, for people besides just the revenue and the profit.
WP Jeff. I'm not sure who WP Jeff is. Do you know who WP Jeff is?
I do not.
Okay. I heard you mention Nadra. What are you doing with them? So he must have come in.
So number one, our booth is actually attached to the end of Nadra's booth. So we'll be kind of in the same space there. So if you're talking at Deck Expo, we're doing that with them. We're also doing the 3-day Master Deck Professional certification, the blueprint that we already started talking about day one. So we're doing that at Deck Expo, which basically, if you're coming to Deck Expo, like I implore you to do this class, because Deck Expo doesn't start till 10:30 every day, 10:30 in the morning. From 8 till 10 every morning, you can literally 10x your ROI on your ticket by coming to this class, because you're going to get 6 credits inside of the Master Deck Professional certification, which is great. But the other thing is you're gonna leave with a super clear plan for 2026. We're also getting into like day 2, what we're talking about in day 3. But that's some of the stuff that we're doing with Nadra. Beyond that, we're putting together a education committee right now to try to continue to bring more business education to the space, not just the deck building component, the technical piece, because they've got some great programs already for that. But we're working with Nadra to bring more of the business piece in so that people can leverage that as being a part of Nadra. So
always up to something.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we have on day 2. Let's talk about your sessions on day 2. So performance, the profit and performance blueprint.
Yep.
That's on Thursday from 8 to 10.
Yeah, so kind of the pillars of what I teach at the Academy is, number one, you got to have a really clear plan. That's what we're going to do on day 1. Day 2 is all about numbers. So we're going to talk about what are the numbers you should be looking at, starting with budget, what's the right markup and margin to be charging, how do you track that with a scorecard, how do you run your business profitable. I teach some stuff like, if you've ever read Profit First for Contractors, we're going to talk about how I apply those principles to my deck business and what that actually looks like. I got a cheat sheet that I'll share with everybody on how to set the accounts up. And so everything in day 2 is really going to be focused on mostly the numbers, both on the business side of things, but then also on the job side of things. So like, what should you be charging? I had a class with a bunch of my members yesterday, and everybody had to chime in on what their markup and margin was. And there wasn't a single person that had the same one. And I think it's kind of status quo in the industry, is like people will survey other people like, hey, what are you charging per square foot? What are you charging per square foot? And the reality is, like, there is no like one size fits all. Everybody's overhead is different. Everybody's desire to make profit is different. Everybody's what they pay themselves is different. And so when I do this, like, everybody is going to have a different markup and margin factor. So I think it's important. You have to know your numbers. And I'm going to teach you and share with you the tools that we do to help people get clear about their numbers so that they can confidently charge X amount and know that if they charge that and they manage their jobs well, that they're going to make a profit at the end of the day. And you would be just amazed at the amount of people that I talk to, or maybe you wouldn't be, that are just kind of shooting in the dark. And in my opinion, like, cash flow hides a lot of the sins of our estimating, a lot of the sins inside of our lack of planning. Just because money's coming in, we're like, okay, we're doing okay. If it ever stops, lead flow goes down, leads, you don't sell jobs. Like, that's when you'll expose some of those sins. So I like to try to save people from that. That's what day 2 is all about.
Yeah, that's a really good way to position it. The sins.
Yeah.
I think exactly. I gotta start asking my people, like, what are the sins in your business?
What are the marketing
because
sins?
We're all guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Oh, check this out. So 3 RBIs said, I want to change my flight so I could attend Chris's event at Deck Expo. Currently, I'm flying in late Wednesday morning from Philadelphia. And this is Robbie Hines.
Yeah, so if you can get in on Tuesday to make the Wednesday morning class, I'd highly recommend it. If you can't, and you just want to start with, and you can only get there for Thursday and Friday morning, we are recording everything, so you would definitely get the replays. The ticket is still what the ticket is, so I don't know that I can do much to help you out with that. But we definitely can make sure that you still get the content, and I'll get you up to speed enough to be able to take the test at the end to be able to get the 6 credits. So we can help you out. But we'll try to change that flight. It'll be worth it.
Yeah. Get it done. Camelo said, how can deck builders use the certification from Nadra?
Great question. So it's something that is going to help to build authority and reduce risk with your clients, any kind of your associations, right? So if you're a NADRA member, that should be listed on your website. If you're a Legacy Decks Academy member, that should be listed on your website. Just like if you're a pro for any of the manufacturers, most deck builders just know like, oh yeah, I'm going to leverage that. Well, you actually get a certification when you complete any of the Master Deck Professional courses. NADRA already does this for code. I'm not sure what other ones they have, but this is an added. You can put their certificate if you win an award through NADRA for a deck. Most guys are leveraging that on their website or in their office. They're putting it on the wall. Again, so this is just one more thing that you can put to add credibility, to be a differentiator, right? April talks marketing speak. Like, how can you differentiate yourself from the competition? Well, we're an accredited NADRA deck builder, right? And so it just adds more credibility, more clout, and hopefully will help you earn some business that maybe someone otherwise would go somewhere else when they're trying to weigh you against the competition. So it's a marketable thing.
Craftsmanship doesn't sell alone anymore. And so it's really important to work on these differentiators. And so that's definitely, and plus, I mean, that it's just showing that you're dedicated, right? Like you're working at a really professional level because you're investing into, your knowledge.
Yeah, and at the base level, how can you use it? Well, you can make your business really, really good, really profitable, and have a lot of longevity. So, but yeah, from a tactical standpoint, that's what I would say.
We talked about all the sessions, right? Did I miss anything?
No, day 3, we talked about planning. We talked about performance, which is numbers. Day 3, we're going to talk about playbooks and people. So playbooks for me is a fancy word for systems. So I'm going to share some of the primary systems inside of our sales process, inside of our production process, and then also the hiring funnel will be part of that as well. So day 3 is really all about people and systems. And so here's what I believe. I believe that if you have a really good plan, you know your numbers at a really high level, and you have the right systems in place, those 3 things, if you plug people into it, you're going to attract a higher level of people. Because guess what A players want to know? They want to know that you've got a plan. They want to know that you know your numbers. And they want to know that they have a system. You have a system in place that you can plug them into. And if they do their job right and they win, that they will get rewarded. And so I think that's like, we get this out of order. A lot of times we just sell decks. We add people to the mix with no systems. We don't know our numbers. It's chaotic and people leave. And so if you want to build like that team of A players, you got to start with day 1, which is the plan. Day 2, knowing your numbers, and then we roll into systems and people. And again, I didn't make this up. I basically pressure tested it in my own company, did it wrong for a lot of years, and figured out like this is the scaling model that's really helping us and all the members inside of the academy have success. So that's day 3.
So we got a couple of questions here. Oh my gosh, we got a lot. Oh, this is a good one from Camp Tony. What pass do I need to watch the sessions? Expo pass?
So the Expo Pass is going to get you access to the stuff on the outdoor living stage. That's going to be the talk that Nick is doing on sales, how to not get ghosted. The talk I'm going to be doing on exiting. Let's see, that's about it. So if you want to see the rest of them, if you buy the pass for my Deck Builder Business Blueprint, which is $3.99 for NADRA members, $7.99 for non-NADRA members, you get a full access pass to the show floor as well. So my recommendation would be buy the pass for this, and you'll get access to everything else.
And that's all the speaking sessions that they're putting on, right?
Yep.
Like not just yours, but all of them.
Does it give them access to the Super Pass? I guess it does. Yep. So you get all the speaking classes.
Yeah, because basically I think there's 2 different ways. You just either floor or Super Pass, and you get everything.
Yep. There you go.
But it is nice though, because the floor, like you said, they do still have some speaking sessions.
Yep.
That are really helpful.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's some big industry players and leaders that are going to be in the other sessions as well. So I definitely think it's worth it to get the Super Pass.
Yeah.
Again, it's really taking some time to work on your business while you're there. And then when you're on the show floor and outside of the actual event, you're networking and building up that.
Yeah. But I do want to mention though, the Super Pass will not get you access to this NADRA certification class. You have to buy that separate. So it's $3.99 for NADRA members for that.
Yep. So let's focus, guys. Let's get this done. Let's work on the business and move some things forward here. I love it. We got a couple more comments here. Let's see. So 3RB's Robbie Hines said, do you think receiving Google reviews to grow your business is a major key?
Well, we have the marketing specialist here with April with us. April, I have my opinion on this for sure.
Okay, well, let's hear you go first.
Oh, absolutely. Everything I try to do is to reduce the friction of sales. Anything I can do to reduce friction. Certifications are going to reduce friction. Being a pro in a manufacturer is going to reduce friction. It's going to help people make the decision to buy from us more. If you're going to look at a restaurant, and you've got two options of places to go, and one's got 150 5-star reviews and one has 3, like, where are you going to go? And so absolutely, I think it's a major thing. I wish we had more. We're just shy of 100 reviews right now, and I wish it was 1,000 reviews. But I feel like where we're at like 91 or whatever reviews is enough to like give enough credibility. But man, I'd love to have it be multiple hundreds of reviews, which we just don't have right now. So I do think it's a major key. It's something I focus on inside of the marketing piece with people that I talk to. And I think April would agree with that.
Yeah, well, it's even more important than ever. And I just feel like I've been saying the same thing for so many years, but different AI platforms are utilizing those reviews to, validate you and show you in the search results. People are doing like really big searches, like not just saying deck builder near me, but like asking a very specific question about where they live and materials to use. And then, AI will also show them deck builders that could get the job done. And they do that by looking at, your reviews, and you need to be everywhere. So it's no longer SEO, which was search engine optimization. It's search everywhere optimization. So,
right. Have you heard of this idea of clickless searching?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I didn't think about it until I heard it on a book. I'm listening to Endless Customers by Marcus Sheridan right now. Fantastic book, by the way. But he talks about the fact that and I'm doing it right now. Like, I go search something, and if I'm on Google, a lot of times I'm looking at the AI piece before I even go to any ads or sponsored or anything like that. So it's like I might find what I need without clicking on a single thing. Kind of blew my mind a little bit about like the power of AI and where things are going. And so yeah, Google reviews are going to help with AI. I think adding video to your website, to your social obviously is big, but YouTube I think is big as far as AI searches and things. So I think AI even searches, and Google searches social media stuff now, from what I understand. So that's all super relevant. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's extremely important. It's actually one of the pillars or drivers in our system. And so we've got we help our clients get visibility, leads, build trust, and then success. And the trust factor is just, I'm telling you guys, like, you cannot, if you have a business, you can't afford not to invest in marketing it, and promoting and making sure that you're getting out there, because these tools the people that have been doing it for a while are winning, and those that, are just getting started and building their visibility online, it's just taking a lot more. So 0 click means, like, for us as a marketing agency, it's changed everything, because it takes a lot more to get people to your website or to call you or fill out your form, because they're doing all this research beforehand, and the people that are, more authoritative are showing up first. So we've had to work a lot harder to make sure that once they get to the website, the conversion rate on the website is high and people are, calling and, and filling out your form. So it's, I call it AI disruption. I actually have a really good column in the Deck Specialist magazine I just submitted this week. So look out for that in November's issue, and I'm talking about that, and we'll continue the conversation. But boy, did that open a can of worms. So what's the answer here? Yes, get reviews. And I'll tell you what, like, your database is really important, and you should be leveraging that. You should be staying in front of even past customers, because that's how you get more referral indirectly. And you can hit up customers from 2 years ago that didn't leave a review, and they will. I know we did that for you guys, and it was successful. And so if you do good work, it's all a cycle, you know what I mean? So don't be afraid. Set a goal for yourself with how many reviews you want to get. Maybe even incentivize your team, make it a competition to see, who could get the most reviews, but definitely jump on it. Okay, Bobby says, as deck builders grow their business, when do you recommend they bring in someone for sales and maybe outside marketing help?
Boy, there's no one size fits all, but I'll kind of frame it up like this. If you haven't read, I highly recommend reading Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And one of the things he talks about there is what he calls the replacement ladder. And the replacement ladder is like the ladder of hires that you're going to make to replace yourself. And so it starts with like the low dollar per hour tasks or the things that drain you. And so everybody's going to be slightly different, right? But for me, kind of the hiring for us that I recommend as like a baseline basic would be, first, you're going to hire somebody to help inside of your administrative roles and responsibilities. Next, you're going to hire somebody inside of your production. So whether that's a project manager or someone to support you in project management. Next, after that, I recommend either paying or outsourcing for marketing support. After that, then I would say sales. So the reason I put it in that order is because as the owner of the organization, you're the most highly qualified, you're the have the most credibility just naturally, and you're going to have the most authority. And you also have the most to risk by not having sales. And sales is like the oxygen of your business. And so that's kind of the order that I would recommend. Now, there's not a one size fits all. If you're not good at sales, if you don't enjoy sales, if it drains the life out of you, if you have someone highly skilled in sales, like maybe it might be time to bring somebody in. But that's kind of the order that I would say. I think that answers the question, right? Recommend them bringing in someone for sales and maybe outside marketing. So so that's it. I also will tell you this. I think it's really important that we focus on, which the reason that April and I work so well back and forth together is because she realizes that if you don't have the business stuff figured out and you just throw a bunch of marketing money out there at leads, you're going to waste a lot of money on leads because you don't have the systems and the people in place to execute and grow and scale. And so I think it's important marketing wise, before you start outsourcing and spending money on ads and all these things, that you at least get a plan. Maybe you don't have all the systems in place. Most people have the basic systems up here as the owner. You are selling, you're estimating, you're project managing, right? But at least have a really clear plan on where you're going before you start dumping money into marketing. So that's kind of the order of operations. I hope that's helpful, but definitely recommend that book, Buy Back Your Time. It's going to help you really get super clear about, as you do a time audit, like what gives you energy, what drains you, what pays you the most, those types of things, and helps you prioritize what should you unload task-wise first.
Yeah, protecting your time is so important. And it's something that I think when you're so used to grinding, it's almost like habitual, you know what I mean? And you have to try and figure out how to get out of that. But if you really can focus on the things that you're good at and that really drive you, you're going to shine in ways that nobody else can, and you're going to be able to move your business forward in ways that other people aren't going to be able to, right? Like only you are going to be able to grow it.
One last thing to end with, like, as far as from the context of like all of the academy members that I work with, majority, I'll say 90% or more, one of the last things that they hire in the scaling process with us is a salesperson. So Grant, who I just mentioned earlier, he just hired a salesperson. It's been revolutionary for him. That's what lets him go to Switzerland for 2 weeks. You know, have a salesperson, guess what doesn't happen? Any sales. So
Yep, for sure. Let's see. Robbie Hines also said, when you say advertise more on AI platforms, do you mean Google and Meta ads? So there's no advertising on AI yet. We'll see what happens. But you just really have to make sure that you're showing up everywhere. There's a lot more I could say about that. I do recommend book a strategy session with me, and I could talk more nerdy marketing that's very specific to your situation. You just go to deckbuildermarketers.com/get-started. All right. So let's talk about your booth. Or do you have any special promotions, resources, giveaways? What can we expect if we go check out your booth?
Great question. And you asking me that question earlier kind of challenged me that I probably should have something that would encourage people to come by my booth. So as the marketer that you are, so we essentially have three programs that we offer, and I'm gonna have a specific offering for each one of those, depending upon where you kind of fit into the stage of business that you're in. So there's no one size fits all that I have right now, but I will tell you our primary offer that we offer, which is our boardroom program. We're going to be doing $1,000 off of the initial implementation, and then we'll do a discount on it from there. So I'll have something clearly identified at the booth, but make sure you stop by the booth and we'll talk through the different programs we have, figure out which one fits best for you. But yeah, we will be doing a discount at the booth for you.
Yeah, as you can tell, I mean, Chris answers a question in 2 minutes and he drops so much knowledge. So just go and have a conversation and see what it's all about. For people that don't know, do you want to talk about how they can work with you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm super simple. You know, it's really more of an interview process. Like I want to make sure that you feel like you're a good fit for us. We're a good fit for you. We've got a great community. And so essentially we do what I call a fit call. Like make sure this is the right move for you. No, nothing to buy on that call. I'm not selling you anything, but if you go to my Instagram, there's a link in my bio where you can book a fit call. It's a 30-minute call. Where we're just going to talk strategy. You'll get a ton of free intel. I'll give you my insights on what the next step might be for you. And if it includes working with us, fantastic. If it doesn't, I guarantee you'll at least leave with either 3 or 4 books I tell you should probably go after, or someone else that you might want to work with first, right? And so we spend a lot of time doing the strategy on that 30-minute call. I give you some information. You take a look at it. And again, I'm not selling you. I'd love to have you explain to me why it makes sense for you to be a part of our community. And that's kind of how we roll. So.
Cool. So I'm sorry, say that again. Where do they go?
They go to my Instagram. There's a link in my bio to book a fit call.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Cool. Great. Well, we've went over so much today. We talked about all of the sessions, the amazing stuff that you have going on with Nadra, with the certification program, and what to expect, with Legacy Dex Academy, and, making sure that folks go and meet you. And who else? Is somebody else going to be at the booth?
Yeah, so we'll have some of my team, which is probably one of the most, I guess, under marketed things about being a part of the academy. I think the thing that gets the most positive feedback from my members is that they get to deal directly with my team, because I'm not selling decks, I'm not estimating decks, I'm not project managing decks, I'm not doing bookkeeping for the decks. And so when we have people here, they get access to all of my team. So yeah, we're going to have Nick there, who's a master inside of sales. Sam's going to be there, who's been a project coordinator for us for the last 3 years, which basically is the backbone to our production department. And Amy, my wife, who's a genius inside of all things financial marketing, she'll be at the booth as well. And then Christy, who's my assistant, will be there. So there'll be a handful of us from the team to kind of cover all those things. So
cool. Well, any last words of wisdom?
Last words of wisdom. I would say you can learn in a couple different ways. You can learn from your own mistakes, or you can learn from other people's mistakes. And I think that, sometimes people look at going to these events or hiring a coach or getting on a call with April, like they look at them as expensive. I'll tell you what's really expensive is trying to do this on your own and figure it out on your own. The mistakes that you'll make will cost you way more than going to Deck Expo for a week, hiring a coach for whatever time. And so my encouragement to you is to learn from other people's mistakes and save yourself a lot of time and a lot of money. So that's my encouragement.
That's good. I think there's a price of inaction too. So
I love that. Yeah.
The focus that you'll get with, a coach, or just, having somebody kind of lead you down the next step, because I swear we all get really overwhelmed,
Yeah.
And I think that entrepreneurs have squirrel syndrome, like shiny object and all of those things. And so getting some outside perspective will really help you stay focused. And Chris is offering that for free. So, make sure that you go to official Chris Breen and book a strategy session with them. And if you're not ready to do that, if you're going to be at Deck Expo, make sure that you stop by the booth 3135. Great episode, man. Really good to have you. Can't wait to see you next week. And
sorry about all the camera difficulties.
Yeah, all good. So while you're at Deck Expo, be sure to stop by our booth 3115. We've got amazing marketing growth calculator. By the way, I'm speaking too. So I'll be in the outdoor living stage, which you get to get those sessions for free with your Expo pass. I'll be on a panel with Mike Mitchell, Andy Henley, Tommy Holstein. We'll be talking about winning high-end clients, the art of selling luxury outdoor living. That will be on Wednesday at 2:00 in the outdoor living stage. I will also be speaking about creating a marketing system that brings clients to you. So that will be Wednesday as well, but earlier in the day at 11 a.m. If you stop by our booth 3115, we have an amazing marketing growth calculator. It only takes a couple of minutes to check out, and it'll help you see what you should be spending in order to get a really good return on your investment and grow your business. We're also offering a free copy of my book for anyone who books a strategy session. That is the Deck Builder Marketing Playbook. And we're giving 15% off our setup exclusive for Deck Expo attendees. So stop by the booth, get some more info. And of course, if you are ready to take your business to the next level, don't forget to book your free strategy session with me at deckbuildermarketers.com/get-started. Chris, thanks again. Good to see you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, deck building community. Enjoyed the show? Hit subscribe and give us your thoughts. We love hearing from you. Ready to level up your business? Visit deckbuildermarketers.com. Check out our services and let's build your success together. Don't forget to download our free guides. They're a game changer. Thanks for tuning in to We Love Deck Builders and see you on the next episode.